Having a toilet in northeast direction is
Hmm.
considered to be the biggest vastu dosh.
Yes, yes, true.
And what are the remedies one can perform?
Uh,
Like especially we are having in Gulf, we don't have
okay.
anybody to consult about vastu.
So the problem is, first and foremost, when you build a, when you have a toilet in northeast, it certainly creates a problem because northeast is, a kind of dharmasthana. The problem with this whole structure is in Rahu Kalam, that is in today's time, most of the toilets built in flats and other areas, pre-built, would be found in northeast area. Now, this is a very interesting and unique facts about Rahu. Now, frankly, there are several ways this can be corrected. First and foremost is keeping the toilet spick and span. One, two is keeping lot of greenery in your toilet. The real plants I'm talking about, house plants. It could be, it could be rubber plants. It could be, it could be money plant. Anything. The house plants, not cactuses. Succulents could be there, but not cactuses. So one is this. Secondly, have aroma in your toilet. That is absolutely necessary. Keep your plumbing in check. Okay, and and so there should not be any dripping of water. This would be disastrous for the house if the plumbing is not checked. And finally, I believe keeping a brass lota or a brass tumbler filled with Ganga Jal and Narmada coddies, shells, crocodile shells, keeping that in the brass tumbler along with Gangajal and kept in somewhere in a top somewhere would be suffice enough to keep this whole northeast problem in check.
Sir, I feel so blessed every time I speak with you. See, this is the thing. Now, the Narmada Kodis,
Yes.
just because you're a Shiva Bhakta, you know about this.
Uh,
What is the importance of Narmada Kodi? Nowadays, even if I ask somebody elder to me,
hmm.
he will not be able to tell me.
True, 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 true.
And how we have to hire a person, go to Narmada, collect that Kodis, such a difficult job to do.
Absolutely, absolutely.
People have really forgotten about all this ancient thing.
True, 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 true. I mean, you can even correct Vastu dosha through keeping marbles. You know that? But the marbles has to come from Narmada River. The, you're right. You have touched upon a very sensitive topic. People go to Ganga, people go to various places, but they have forgotten the power of Narmada. They've completely forgotten the power. Let me give you a small tip. If anybody's moon is heavily afflicted, okay, and it is, let's say it is under Kal Sarpa dosha or it is it is with Rahu and aspas uske Mangal ghum raha hai, to he's in trouble with all sorts of things. Okay, so how do you correct that moon dosha? People would say, go to Shivlinga, do this rice and do, have a bamboo filled with rice, bury it and all that stuff. A Narmada Shivling pendant, a Narmada Shivling pendant, a very rare pendant, only found in those areas, okay, can correct moon in matter of 7 days. any problem with moon dosha can be corrected with Narmada Shivling. Now, Narmada Shivling is very special. A, it is a rare thing. B, it is double in color. Generally, it has two colors, not a single colored thing. C, one of the most important, Narmada Shivling is pre-charged by the Narmada river herself. You don't have to charge or don't have to do anything. You just have to keep it. That's it. Or wear it. Even I wear Narmada Shivling because my moon is with Rahu in fifth. And I have seen incredible results with Narmada Shivling. So I won't divulge much, but this is a free tip you can have. If you have problematic moon, treat it with Narmada Shivling, nothing else. You won't need anything else. Now, Gomti Chakra, of course, is special that we were talking about. Those things are also called Gomti Chakra. Gomti river mein milta hai wo. That can also be replaced with Narmada Chakra and put in northeast area, Yamuna brass, brass come ladies. Yes. So if that is toilet, then your northeast dosha will go away. Right. So the problem with husband and wife majorly starts because of bad Venus. Okay, whenever Venus get afflicted, then things like this would happen. And why does Venus get afflicted? Let's try and understand. Dubai is an eastern part of it. Okay, it's ruled by Sun. Okay, Venus and all the planets that Sun is enemy with problem and have a problem. Okay, Venus is a major Sun. What are the other enemies? Saturn. Labor problem, labor laws would be at its worst in Dubai. That I've heard actually. I don't know. So Saturn would be a problem. Now Sun also is a major problem with Rahu and Ketu. But Rahu and Ketu, especially Ketu. So what I suggest is very simple remedy. Very simple remedy. Buy a small Kamdhenu Gaye, Kamdhenu cow. Get it from anywhere. It could be from Amazon or anywhere. It's a cow suckling his calf. Okay. It could be in brass. It could be in Chinaware. Anything. In a porcelain, whatever. And keep it in the bedroom. Immediately problem solved. Because Venus gets very weak in those areas. This is the whole problem. Because it is east, the Mars is very friendly to Sun. That is why you will find so much heat, so much machinery. I think there would be more machinery than people in these areas. Rahu is also machinery. Rahu is also communication. Okay, so Rahu is also underground. That why you see so much oil. So you need to understand the geographical implication and align it with the planet's signification, and then you will automatically have the remedy of what is going on. So this is the first thing you need to understand. Anywhere else, for example, in India, what is the problem in India is again eastern country. Problem in India is Jupiter centric. It has always been, it still is. Now, one of the worst enemy that Jupiter cannot tolerate is Mercury. And Mercury is common sense. Mercury is fast thinking. Okay, Mercury is heavy duty research. Mercury is mathematics. Mercury is calculation. So that is why you would find a lot of problem with these, common sense and intellect and things like that happening in countries like Eastern countries. So since Mercury takes a back seat, Jupiter moves in front. There's too much emotions, too much Mars. That is good job. Say whatever you need to say without thinking about anything else. The common sense part gets a little weakened, and we end up in trouble. Okay, and that is why, since common sense is weak, that is again, one of the things would be, a lot of, what could I say? What can I say? A lot of invasions happening because we didn't think right at the right moment. So these are the things we need to understand: the geographical implication of a country, align it with a certain planets that signifies, and see the planets Panchadha, and we will know what is the problem and what needs to be done. I think if in India, let's say, if we start having more statistical and mathematical institutes and organizations stressing more on thinking intellectually, research based, a lot of problems would actually go away. The problem is we are too much into Jupiter thinking. My
Sir,
opinion.
one of the interview Sri K. Rao he had given
Mhm.
for they had made a DD Metro, they had made a video on Kal Sarpadosh.
Yes, yes.
Mr. K. Rao was the leading person in that, and he
Mhm.
has told that India's independence was done according to the uh, Jyotish Shastra.
Okay, yes.
Sir, can you enlighten on this, please?
I think, the whole idea of, I think it is an after event. I think, personally speaking, India's independence and India's timings, if you see the chart at that moment, uh, personally, I think that we are deciphering after the event. Most of the astrologers do that. When an event happens, then you decipher and align your arguments around it. But personally speaking, India's chart is not a very good chart. It has very badly placed planets. Few of the planets are very badly placed, and I don't want to comment on Mr. K.N. Rao's video because he's a master and he's a legend and he's very senior and whatever he speaks is right. But I have my doubts that India independence could have been done due to Jyotishas. I have my, it could be, but seeing the chart of India independence, I have my doubts. Maybe I'm missing something. Obviously, I am. They're great legends. I cannot say, but the first hand look of India charts is not a very healthy chart. It's not
So
very
another
healthy.
thing, whenever I get a Shiv Bhakta, I try to maximize loot his knowledge as much as how much I can. When I get a Shiv Bhakta,
You're echoing again. Can you come again, please?
yeah, whenever I get a good person like you, I try to extract the maximum knowledge I can.
Certainly. When we go on, when we go on each and every aspect, specialty aspect, we will certainly talk more on each and every aspect of other stuff. But so you cannot. It's very difficult to pack everything into one go because then it becomes very confusing and very too much overload of information is also not
Very true, sir. Very true. And
because you need to
sir,
chew and digest stuff, right? You did need time to chew and digest, I think.
I really feel very great whenever I get connected to you. And especially like married couple will be definitely thankful to you if they watch this video.
I hope they find peace in their lives. I really sincerely hope that they find peace in their life. That is what I think an astrologer's basic karma is. I mean, he has been chosen by the divine. As I said, it's an alien language. He has been chosen by the divine and the alien, whatever you see, nature and whatever, to bring about peace. I think they're trying to say something, but they cannot come forward due to various reasons. So they choose astrologers, spiritual, occult practitioners, and all that. So voice their whatever they need to say. So if I can even bring a smile to a single person, I think I will attain my moksha. This is what I feel like. I, I don't know what's going to happen, but if I really can put a smile on a single face, and he thinks, okay, my life is a little better than what was before. I've done my job. I'm not
So
into
nice to nice of you to say that, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, so that's why I feel I'm not into creating huge industry and big business and all that stuff. I see people doing it. God bless them and best wishes from me. But I'm not into this. I like to keep it as a practice rather than a business. And participate and be in people like you who are very interested in astrology. And I can we exchange views, we learn from each other, we connect with each other. This is the kind of world I would like to live in. I,
So actually, there was a break in between. So please, can you enlighten upon the topic of currently if somebody wants to learn astrology, especially through you,
okay.
which is the basic course they can go for, and what are the since you said you're coming from a guru parampara and you will be definitely looking into the aspects what their kundi is having, but what is the basic course they can do so they can change their own life?
Okay. What they can do is the basic course that I offer is right now looking at transits. I think more than the natal chart, what my guru used to say is a natal chart is something like a snapshot of the cosmos at that time. Unless and until we apply the transits on the natal chart, we cannot change anybody's life, neither our life. So, even if I don't know my natal chart, if I only know my lagna, that's all. Let's say my lagna is Leo. And if I see the transits and the nakshatras, the planets are transiting in, okay, and Ashtakvar, that's it. Three things planet, nakshatra, Ashtakvar. We can do everything with it. We can change our lives each and every day. And this needs to be taught, I think, to all the people. There are two things that would happen. A, their mathematical prowess would increase manifold because astrology is all about permutation and combination. Okay, their intellectual capacity would increase, their memory capacity would increase because they have to retain the degrees and all that stuff in their memories, and they would be able to pinpoint what exactly is going to happen tomorrow, what exactly is going to happen in the next few hours maybe, and how I should behave right now. Yes, you can say there is certain destiny. If I'm going to if I'm going to meet an accident, I would probably meet an accident. Whatever I do, it's not going to help. But what I can do is I can wear a helmet, okay, because I see accident coming on, and maybe my bones get broken here and then my ribs get punctured. But the most important is my head that would be saved. Even if the helmet breaks, my head would be saved. Maybe I would come out with few stitches and I would live. Maybe I think that is why astrology has been given to us so that we can mend our ways. We can do something about our lives. So I think the transit thing is one of the first thing that I teach my students is look at the transit and look at the ashtak work and try to match these things and look at the chart every day. So this is I think the first thing that I teach my students is look at and when you look at the planets each and every day, you will start in a slowly, and you will realize that planets are actually talking to you. You will be able to hear them what they're saying, and that is the key. That is the key. We need most of the astrologers just see a chart in a very static way. A chart is not a static. If Jupiter is my sixth, it's going to travel to seventh next year. It's going to travel to eighth next year. You know, if Saturn is there, it's going to travel the next house in 2.5. How can a chart be static? It's very dynamic. The planets are moving, so that realization needs to be there when we study transits. That realization is always there. Ki planets are always moving around. The second tuck 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 tuck, it's like clockwork. And each and every day, when each and every day when the degrees are changing, when Ashtavarga Bindus are changing, they're changing their class and Kaksha, how they're going to behave. So, and you would actually open a path towards, you would know exactly which window to look at least. That is very important.
Sir, there are two key things I would like to ask you.
Yeah.
Uh, since I don't know anybody better than you currently, how can we analyze from a chart whether the person is dead or alive?
Very difficult, nearly impossible. But there are ways. Many people give certain kind of calculations, but there are ways, especially in Nadi, there are ways. Whenever Saturn and Rahu are afflicting Jupiter, okay, in a very remarkable ways, and Jupiter is in 8th and 12th, let's say, okay, or it is falling in a Mool Trikona sign of any of the malefics of that particular chart, that, and if that event has happened, then you can kind of say this is a chart of person dead. For example, if you have a strong Bal Arishta Yoga in your chart, Jupiter is going to meet Saturn and Rahu in the next transits. It is almost certain that this chart would be somebody, who would be, who would have passed away.
Passed away.
Yeah, but I personally don't answer to these kind of questions. I've been asked specifically my gurus not to answer two things. One is about death, and second is if it is a boy or a girl. Birth, yes, never to answer, because these two things are handled by Yama. Especially the death is handled by Yama. Or my guru always says, never take panga with Yama. Never take panga with Yama. Because Yama is the brother of Saturn. It is also related to Kal Bhairav. Okay, so the questions I try to avoid. But yes, to answer your question, certain ways, certainly, to see if the person is dead or alive.
So, and